this is the liquid right here that has our salt dissolved in it. So I'm gonna come back over here and I've got a hot plate. I'm gonna go ahead and evaporate the water. Here we go. So when you start seeing all of these bubbles and it's getting closer to the bottom, the trick in this part of the experiment is that the solid that's about to fall out of solution, it can pop out of the beaker. If it dries really fast, it can kind of pop up. So I'm trying to keep an eye on it, and I want to make sure that I catch it right when I start seeing a little bit of solid, but not when it's like so dry that it's kind of popping upwards. You can tell that there's a little bit of water still on it. Just in the top section. I'm gonna turn my heat off. And I'm gonna set this in the oven just to do the last little bit of drying. While I'm here, I'm gonna check my other sample. So I'm going to take these tongs. These tongs are going to help me carry this over here. So I'm going to grab the edge of it with my tongs. And notice, I'm just making sure I don't drop it. And I'm going to set it down. It shouldn't take very long for this section to cool, but I've got this paper right here. This is what I'm going to be weighing. I don't want to weigh it hot because it's not going to be the right measurement if I weigh it hot. It needs to be cool. Move that watch glass out of the way before I put it on the scale. You can see right down here. That's what it looks like. I'm going to take this on over to the scale. And like I said, it will be cooler when I get over there. Now, here's the tricky bit. If I carry it like this and someone bumps into me, there could be salts all over the place, and I don't want that to happen. So I'm going to just look around and make sure no one's in my way before I go over there. I'm going to carefully carry it over there. What I'm doing over here is I'm going to put it on the scale and I'm going to take a picture of it. So again, we're going to let this cool, and then we're going to take this measurement. Since we know the mass of the beaker, if we subtract it from what this measurement's going to be, we're going to have the total mass of the salt that was in the water. So we need to make sure we clean up our lab space. This would be the container that your salt came in. Notice it's empty. Don't just throw it away. You're gonna put it up at the front. There's gonna be a place at the instructor station. It's got a lot of them in there. It'll have empty ones and full ones. Just stick it in the beaker with all the other empty ones. You know this drying paper that we dried our sand on? You just throw it in the trash with the sand on it. If your salt, this was what the container we had drained the water into. If your salt is stuck on the sides, it's fine. It's just salt. We're gonna put it down the drain. We're gonna rinse off the sides of it. And just rinse it until that salt comes out. If you have a hard time getting the salt off, right here, this says glassware. This is soap. So if you have a hard time, just put a touch of soap. Don't use this soap. This will take forever to get off your glassware. Use this, it's diluted. And you can either choose to use a sponge or a brush. Just see whatever. And you can use a brush or a sponge, whatever you think needs to happen, just to get that beaker clean for the next group. Set that over here for a second. Remember this was our very first beaker. So again, we're gonna rinse them off. And it should come off the sides really well. Again, if it doesn't, you can use the soap and you can use any of those devices to help. So we're gonna put everything away correctly. I'm gonna come around to this one and show the drawers.
Mm-hmm.
This will be one of the earlier on labs, and you may not know where everything is. You've got a glassware drawer, that's for the glassware, except for a few of the glass, a little bit of the glassware is a little bit too tall. The Erlenmeyers, which we didn't use, they go down here. But the rest of the glassware is gonna go in this drawer. Keep them nested, unless they're wet. Put them in separate. If you're ever not sure what goes in this drawer, here's the whole list. You can double check. It's 2 of each of these items. Your watch glass also goes in the drawer. Hardware is for like our metal stuff. Close the drawer. So you would just take your hot plate, you're gonna put your hot plate in the drawer. We're gonna assume that it's not extremely hot. Don't put an extremely hot plate in the drawer. You should have turned it off a while ago. Let your instructor know if your hot plate is still really hot. Then we have a ring stand. The ring stand goes right here. These cabinets, it slides right in here.